Hey guys, Jason here from Timber Falls. Today's video we're going to take a complex photograph and turn that into a relief model. If you saw my last video, we took a simple photo, which was a cartoon, and we turned that into a relief model. Today we're going to take an actual photograph of a person and we're going to change that into a relief model. So this is a little more advanced. I'm going to do this slightly different, the technique that I'm going to use, but this may help some of you who are wanting to take real photos and change them into 3D reliefs. Okay, if we start our new model here, I'm just going to start off with a 30 by 30 model. You can build your model in any material size and then resize it later. I'm going to have my resolution all the way up. I'm doing that for the best detail possible. I'm using inches, referencing the bottom left corner. Normally the way I was doing this was importing a bitmap or picture. Then once I had the picture in, I would start tracing the picture out and then overlaying that using the shape editor, using the shapes to make the different parts. I discovered another little shortcut or trick in order to sort of speed the whole process up, and I'm going to kind of go through that real quick. If you import a bitmap, and today we're going to be doing Benedict Cumberbatch. If I said that wrong, I am from the deep south and I have a real southern accent. I apologize. But Sherlock Holmes, a very good series. One of my favorite characters. We're going to do that picture today. And so normally when you import that in, you can see that the picture has this space at the top and space at the bottom that is not a part of the picture. And so that's kind of wasted space. And we're also going to be using the texture relief tool to help bring in textures. And if we leave it 30 by 30, then we will have to resize the texture relief when we import that. But here's the little trick. If we go back before we imported anything, and instead we click the texture relief tool, and we want to bring in a texture from a file. So the texture from a file, we select the file. We're going to go to that picture that I was bringing in, and when I went to bring it in, it already tries to resize that file for the size of my model, and of course it was 30 wide, which we saw earlier, and it's 16.875 inches tall. So that's how actually how tall it was, that it was centered, with the remaining space missing. Now the trick is now that I know 16.875 is my height, I can just start a new model, and this time we're going to use the 16.875 height that I already know that it will scale it to. And now when I import my bitmap, the picture fits perfectly, and we already know that size, and that was given to us by the texture relief map. Now if we press texture relief map from file, select the file, and we're going to get that picture again, and it brought it in, and we just hit Well, right now it's going to bring it in at almost an inch tall, which is pretty tall for a photograph. If you ever do a photo V-carve, you know that when you import a photo for a relief, you have to do it really small. Kind of the same principle here. It doesn't have to be quite as small. We're going to go 0.2 inches. And then what that's going to do, it's kind of hard to see, but let me turn off the bitmap, and you can see that it brought that relief in as a texture. And just like a photo V-carve, this is brought in at 0.2. Now the next little trick is going to be, now that we already know where the shapes are, all you have to do is take your drawing tool and start tracing out the shapes. And since they're already pretty defined, tracing shapes is going to be easy. So we're just going to click along and trace out all of the different parts. So the first thing you're going to want to do is trace along around the outside edge, and you're going to want to bring that, and you'll do a border around your whole figure. Then you'll do a border around the face, a border around the hair, a border around the eyes, the nose, the mouth. And then when you get all that brought in, it should look something like this. I did this earlier to save some time. I went ahead and drew all the lines. But basically, I have each section lined out. I have the hair separated. I have the entire outline separated. And then each of the muscle parts, the chin, the dip under the between the chin, the lips, the nose, the nostrils, the eyes. You can see all the different little parts that I just basically went and drew a box. And these are all closed loop vectors. And then from here, we're just going to start using our node editor to build the model up. In the other video, I didn't explain this, but when you're building a model and you have things that would normally sit on top of other things, and what I mean by that is like the hair right here sits on top of the forehead. So if you do the forehead first and then do the hair will be added as a layer to go on top of the forehead. Whereas if you do the hair first and then you try to do the face will try to overlay the forehead. I know that may be complicated or confusing, but I'll explain that as I go along. But we're basically wanting to start from things that are far behind or in the back part or further away perspective. I'm just going to start with his coat, and we're going to start with the shape editor, and I'm going to just give that a small shape. And if we look at it from the side, we can see that we're giving a start height of 0.25, and we're not giving it very much shape. It's a low 15% angle. If you change this angle, you can give it more or less. And a lot of this is just what looks good to you. I mean, if you just take the model and turn it a few times, you can get an idea of what you're, and it doesn't have to be perfect. But once you've got it where you like it, you'll press apply, and then we'll just move on to the next layer. We're going to do this scarf here, and you can see I've already got that at like about, it's not much, it's an 11% angle. We're going to press apply. Okay, and now we're going to do his head. And we're just going to pull it from the side, and we're just going to kind of look at from the side. And it's easier if you turn off all these vectors so that you can actually see what you're doing. And then don't worry about the nose and the face features. We're going to get that in a minute. You just want to kind of look at the head and get the overall shape of the head and get that where you like it. And you want something that's going to look kind of natural. I think that looks pretty good. So we're going to apply that. And then let's go ahead and do the facial features, and that'll help us. We'll start with the nose. And let's turn this off. And let's just, so we can, adjust the nose to give it some dimension. And we can always smooth this back in. That looks a little big. There, that's a little better. I'm seeing that this part here is a little flat, and it probably shouldn't be. And I don't really see a vector that I drew for that part. We're going to apply the nose where that is so that we don't lose that. Real quickly, I'm going to draw just a quick vector around this part of the nose and try and fix the shape. Let's just move that up a little bit. There. Okay. We'll go back to our shape editor. Go to round and bring it way back down. I just don't want it to go in, rather go out. And let's turn off those so we can see what we're doing. Yeah, just trying to blend that together. It looks a little more natural. We'll smooth all that out in a minute, and I'm going to show you another trick in a minute. So it's okay. You just want the general shape. Don't worry about all the details. Let's hit apply. Okay, guys. The next part we're going to do, these parts right above his lips here, and this only had a very slight shape to it. This is to help give the face some feature around the mouth. Let's apply that. Let's go ahead and get the lips. Probably do the lips and the chin all together. The chin might be much. You may want to do that separate. Let's do that separate. So we're going to just click it, unclick it, and then turn this back off. That way we just do just the lips. Okay, looks good there. Let's do the chin. Not so much. And then there was this spot under the chin, because we did subtract, round, subtract, and we do very little like this. Help bring that in. And again, don't worry if you're erasing some of the D, you just really want the shape. Okay, let's apply. Okay, and now we can work on the brow and the eyes. I think we need to do the nostrils. So we do 1, 2 nostrils here. We have the subtract on. And just look for whatever looks good. Let's apply there. Okay. Let's do these sort of large, what I would call eye sockets. Okay. We're just trying to help get the face. You don't want to go overboard, but you're just trying to get what would look natural. And I think his kind of go in, kind of recess the eyes back a little bit, but not too much to form the cheek. And I think once we get the brow in there, we'll start helping out. Anyway, let's add that brow in there. There we go. That might be a little much. Okay, and then let's do these eyes. Just click out. Just do just the eyes. I believe that's going to be a subtraction. Yeah. And that looks pretty good right off the bat. So let's apply that. Do our vectors, get that inside eye here. And let's do them both at the same time. That actually looks pretty good too. Alright, and then the eyeballs, do this, this, and they're going to be an add. And just whatever looks good to you. Let's see here. Oh, my computer's going slow. But maybe we'll cut all this out so you guys don't have to sit here and listen to this shit. This is bullshit. Okay, here we go. Okay, guys. We'll click the eyes here. It looks good going in. Gives them that depth perception from far away. This part of the nose still looks a little flat. That looks better. Okay. It's looking pretty good, guys. Okay, I think we need to do, we need to get the hair. Let's see here. Oop. Don't merge high. This is interesting. I don't know why it's doing that in reverse. Missed something. Or is that just catching my eye the wrong? I think it's just catching my eye the wrong way. Sometimes 3D stuff can do that. Looks like it's sticking out, but it's going in, or vice versa. We'll just giving it more depth. I'm gonna move his face out too, I think. Let's see if we click this. Just the 0.25. .1. Yeah. And you create that step effect. We're going to blend it all back in just a second. That's where that nose looks like it could come out some more. There we go. Blend it back just a bit. That's too much. Okay. It looks kind of funny. Let's just cancel that. Alright, it's not bad where we have it. Okay guys, I'm going to show you a real quick trick. Okay guys, now that you've got your general shapes and the way you want them, one last thing we didn't do. Let's do this ear. Sorry, let's one more. Let's see here. 5. Get that hair sticking out way too much. I think the problem is the 0.25. I think that's the problem. Okay. Just fixing some inconsistencies in height here. Alright. Another thing you guys you can do is let's see, show the vectors here. Get the one that goes all the way around it. And then you can zero outside and get rid of all the background stuff. Okay, and then now the next thing we're going to do is we're just basically going to smooth this over. We use the smooth tool. I've got the radius is pretty big, but the strength, we're going to put that on like 7%. And what I want to do is just smooth everything out. And it's okay that we're losing all of this detail. We're going to get it back. But this is just to help with the shape of the model. And help blend it all together. Okay. Now, once I've got a general sort of shade on it, we're going to go back and do from file, get our picture again. This time we're going to put selected vector. And we're using that outside line again. This time we're only going to use a 0.1. Get rid of this. And then that brings back all of that detail that you needed to give it that look. And that's how you do it, guys. And from here, I mean, you could add more detail and change things. You just basically move it around and adjust it and play with it as much as you want. But this will give you the general idea of how to do that. If you like this video, please subscribe, hit the like button, ring the bell. It helps with the algorithm. We're just trying to get started with our channel, so the more likes and the better we can do, the better it helps. We appreciate it. Have a great one, guys.